Alright, so, part 2, that I didn't know was going to be part 2. Hello again, I'm Zorgo Knox. If you did not see part 1, you can check out my channel. This is the continuation of What Do You Do After Gloomingdeep. Um, I watched my first attempt and I apologize to everybody for the newbiness of everything that's going on. I apologize for my allergies and mouth breathing and inability to know how to use the mic correctly. Um, but hopefully you got some good information about where you're going to pop up and where you can get your spells. We left off here last time. The behind the scenes uh, footage doesn't exist of what ended up happening. I recorded for like 45 minutes or an hour, but then went back and checked the video and only had like 13 minutes of it. So not sure what happened. We'll see if I have solved the problem here. Pick up where we left off. We talked about ordering your spells from the vendor, picking up all the spells that you can um, at this point. But if you don't pick up spells here, you can certainly just move on because we're going to be going right to Plane of Knowledge after this anyway. So you can just skip through this section from where you start. You go out the wrong door of this every time, but if you look around, oh look, there it is. I see the sign. There is Crescent Reach. What are we going to do in Crescent Reach? We're going to run right through it. We're going to skip it. Many people want to start at that quest giver where you pop out of Gloomingdeep and start doing the quest for the hero's journey. You can certainly do that. I have tried several times thinking that it would give me focus and direction as I leveled up, but my experience was that what you did is you, like, I don't know, like sometimes I'd be waiting like, I'd spend 2 hours because I had like a rare drop or rare spawn that I had to do, and then I'd finally get the quest reward, and then a random trash mob would drop a piece of Defiant gear that was better than it. And it was very deflating. Just basically, I have learned what you'll find on the forums and where people post about EverQuest. Why am I attacking? There we go. I've basically found that the if you want to get to the good stuff quick, just go ahead and kill the mobs, follow a path, and let the Defiant gear upgrade you as you go. You'll eventually start making enough platinum that you can check the bazaar and get any, like, let's say I've run all the way up to level 50 in the Gloomingdeep gear and not really suffered much of a problem. So I would just say that the best thing to do if you're returning to the game and leveling up a new character and you don't have, money on the server that you're starting, or you're brand new to EverQuest, I think the most fun thing to do is to just start killing the monsters along a path and learning how to play your class, because they all have in-depth nuances that you need to learn to be effective by the time you're level 85. So you can kind of focus on that, forget about the gear, let the drops happen, learn how to pull mobs, tank mobs, get away from mobs, use your specialized abilities. That's going to be the focus that you want to take. Now then, so I'm in the middle of the city of Crescent Reach right now. Just visually, you can look around, see, you're looking for the sign that says the Hollow Blightfire Moors. But there's another thing that you can do. If you don't know about this, you've got this little actions window. I don't know where it is on your UI. Hopefully by the time you ended up out of Gloomingdeep, you had rearranged your UI in a manner in which you like it. I have, but this actions window is for me, it's the bread and butter. You've got your find button right here, and people always forget that it's there, and you need to use it, because I would say that it works often enough to remember that it's there. It almost always works. So when you use the find button, you scroll down to the bottom. Often you're using it to find the zone connections. Perhaps you found this in Gloomingdeep, but you can find a lot of stuff. Like here it says, all the different quests that we're going to skip. So if you want to do the quest, there they are. You can find your way to them that way. Different vendors, Soulbinder, that's not a bad idea. Um, all of that stuff. But I'm usually going for the zone connection, so I go down to the bottom, find zone connection, and we're looking for Blightfire Moors. And behold the magic of Everquest, a mystical yellow path unveils before me, showing us where to go. So why are we going to Blightfire Moors? Well, I'm going to go to the Plane of Knowledge, because there's a few things that I want you to see there. Oops, I forgot. Don't mind me here. Let's pretend that we don't have this mercenary. We're going to go to Plane of Knowledge, and I'm going to kind of show you a little bit about navigating around and helping you find your way through how you're going to level up. Plane of Knowledge is going to be hugely important to you. So you're going to pop out in Crescent Reach. You're going to follow yourself, fall down through Crescent Reach, like you'll pop into Crescent Reach, you'll follow that path down, walk through the cities, look for Blightfire Moors, use Find if you have to. Then you can laugh at Zorgo Nox's slow computer and, oh my god, why does it take so long for him to zone? Because he needs a new computer, that's why. And then you're popped into Blightfire Moors. Now then, one of the things that you're going to see is that if you use Find, this is one of the areas, well, at least it didn't work for me last time. Yeah, so what happened was that it couldn't find a path. So often in these narrow tunnel areas, see, I'm in this narrow tunnel, you often can't get Find to work. And sometimes if you come out into the open, it works a little bit better. So like if I come out here where I'm a little bit more in the zone, use Find again, Plane of Knowledge. Nope, it still doesn't like it. So, good time to talk about your maps. If you're brand new to the game or you're returning, chances are your map does not look like this. There's a little drop down menu up here. Perhaps back in the day when you did play, you did download Brule's maps and you do have something, but remember to take it. Default is going to look like this. If you're a returning player, you may still have Brule's in there someplace if you never removed Everquest from your machine, but if not, you should just do a search for Brule's maps, Everquest, and it's really easy to get these downloaded. I'm not going to waste time because there are probably 10 or 15 other videos that can tell you how to do that. But then you've got your maps, and I'm looking and I see Plane of Knowledge right there. So I'm headed for, that's where I want to go. Pop into Crescent Reach, travel to Blightfire Moors, look for the Plane of Knowledge book. Make sure you've got the maps downloaded. And pa-ching! Ooh. Mystical, magical, an ancient tome held among a stump. Yeah, click on it. I say click on it. There we go. And we laugh at Zorgo Nox's slow zoning once more. Everything works fine. I mean, like when I zone and when I try to copy a UI layout, my computer doesn't like it for some reason. I can run 3 Everquest accounts if I'm multi-boxing. I haven't tried any more than that, but I would imagine it could handle it, but I don't know, for some reason it sticks right there. Alright, now we are in the Plane of Knowledge. What is the Plane of Knowledge? Well, it is a magical plane of existence where all of the knowledge of Norath is held, and you can travel to pretty much anywhere in this massive, massive world from Plane of Knowledge. So this is a great hub. One of the very first things that you should do is go and find your find window. Put it over there. Usually I like to keep it over there. I had it up front so that you guys could see what I was doing. So find, and I'm going to be scrolling down to find the Soul Binder. Soul Binder. Soul Binder. Soul Binder Jera. There's my mystical yellow path showing me just where to go. My goodness, it's almost as if the Crescent Reach rock was placed just to be close enough here. And like you learned in the Gloomingdeep, you hail them by pressing H, you see the blue text, you click on it, and oh, my soul is bound. Why am I binding my soul immediately from going into Plane of Knowledge? Well, because I plan on leveling pretty quick, and at a certain point, right now, you should be actually bound in the Gloomingdeep's tutorial. And if you end up being like level 14 or 15 before you die, then it's going to send you back to, well, it's supposed to send you to Plane of Knowledge. What happens on my computer is I crash, and then when I re-log in, you know, I'm in Plane of Knowledge at that point. And until you soul bind someplace else, that's kind of maybe your experience. So now I'm bound. So, okay, I did not pick up all of the spells in Gloomingdeep. I did not stop at the little hut in Crescent Reach and pick up spells. So how do you do spells in Plane of Knowledge? Basically, this is where you're going to be getting them. And there's a few different methods in which you can do that. Let's see. So we're gonna go find again. So find. And one of the things that's nice is that the only spell vendors that are going to come up are my spell vendors. So it's going to be really easy to find Paladin spells level 1 through 25. I did forget to show you something though. Yours probably doesn't look like this when you pull it up. It probably looks like that. So yeah, it's kind of hard to read, but you may not have known. Kind of like the being able to reorder the spells by level. You can use these different windows. Just look for the little lines and you can pull them to make them more readable if you want. So Paladin spells level 1 through 25 because I am level 9. My mystical yellow path tells me where to go. Where it's taking me is to this great library in the center of the zone. It has many, many levels. You can tell the freshmen that there is a swimming pool on the roof. There isn't. But the find path will take you right to your vendor. Works pretty well in Plane of Knowledge. Eventually through rote memorization you'll get there too. Play little games like trying to stay right on top of it. Nah, those are boring games. Hello, Knowledge Guide. I always like to greet the NPCs. So you see all these NPCs or vendors sitting around the books, spells apparently. Cha-ching, here we go. Bearded dwarven female. And I right click. And again, go up here to level and you can reorder your spells. And as you can see, any spell that I have memorized doesn't show up. I have lull in my inventory, so I don't need to buy it. In fact, I've got cure disease and I've got light healing, so I already bought my spells up here. The reason I see lull, cure disease, and light healing is because I haven't had them memorized yet because I'm not high enough level, but I wanted to keep them because I wanted to have those spells for when I did level. But it's up to you. You know, you can choose to, like, what I was doing was I was coming up here, like I about every 5 levels, I'd buy the next 5 levels of spell, go out and adventure and memorize as I leveled, but I realized that that was becoming extraordinarily expensive after level 30 or so to do. And so I rather, instead, because the mercenaries are so powerful in this game, I actually level 5 levels without the spells that I need, and then I come back to the vendor because I can save money that way. So I just wanted you guys to see where the vendor was. I want you to know about the being able to reorder your spells. And you can make your decision on how you want to do it. I'm not buying anything right now. I've got the ones that I want for adventuring up to about level 15, maybe even level 20. And then I'm going to come back at level 20 and shore up the ones that I need to get. So there's your spells. So now what are you going to do? Man, been spending a lot of time like running around doing nothing. Well, kind of get used to it. It's one of the things about Everquest is that there is prep time involved. It is slow progress for big rewards. And so once you know, it can be grindy to like have to like spend so much time before you adventure. Some people set it up so that they log off like after selling their spells and buying their spells, and so that when they log on they can go right to the hunt. Um, my real life doesn't usually let me do that. Where am I going to go hunt? I'm a paladin, and paladin is a tank, and I'm gonna go get myself a mercenary before we go hunt. With this character, I am probably not going to be going the most efficient route to level 85. I'm going to go old world content. And the reason I'm going to go old world content is even though the experience isn't as good, the content is easier to destroy with Defiant gear. And therefore, which is basically what you've got coming out of the Gloomingdeep. The Gloomingdeep gear is equivalent to the crude Defiant gear. And so, because I'm a paladin, I am the lowest DPS tank there is, and so I'm going to go for the really easy content because I'm going to be able to kill it faster than I would in the newer content. So this is something that is a good recommendation for you if you're returning to the game and you just go where you know. I mean, go fight the good fight in all your old zones and get that nostalgia. You'll basically be able to, and you won't have to be thinking about where am I going to go. You're not going to have to think about what am I going to do. You're going to go relive memories. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now that it's probably not going to be the best XP, but it is going to be. I mean, you're going to be able to navigate faster, and you're going to be able to kill faster, just because you're tapping into your knowledge base. I think it's a lot of fun, and some of these zones, I think, I'm going to try to test it out and see, but I think a lot of them actually even have better gear drops. Like, I think that, like, going through Crushbone and Mistmore, I had more Defiant drops than going through Blightfire Moors, but Blightfire Moors gave me a lot faster experience. I did try to go I should say Crescent Reach, then Blightfire Moors. I thought I was recording, and I did a little bit of recording in the Cave Bears of Crescent Reach, and quickly realized, like, oh, this is going to be grueling with a paladin. It's just slow going. So I'm going to see if, now I'm going to test and see if, like, going through Crushbone actually is a little bit easier for me to do. Forgot to get a mercenary. Get your mercenary. You might still have that dude up from your mercenary from the Gloomingdeep up, but I usually dismiss that one, and I go looking for Merc Liaison, and remember, if you can't tell what they are, because yours may look like this, you can widen it so you can see, and frogs are the only choice for me. I do like the erudites and plate armor. But I think all of the stats on the mercs are exactly the same, so I don't think it matters if you get a frog versus an erudite versus whatever. If you don't know, then the mercenaries in Plane of Knowledge, I mean, you saw me use find to find the one that I want. There are some special ones out there. You can get orcs, you can get goblins, you can get brownies and bixies. So non-traditional, non-playable mercenaries are available here as well. Just go to the different, use find, go to the different mercs, find something that you like. They should all play pretty much the same. I am a tank, so I'm going to get a healer. There's no doubt about it. And if you are a free-to-play player and you're a tank, you'd be getting a healer tier 5. Or just go ahead and keep the one from Gloomingdeep if you don't mind the human. If you are playing a healer, which is the other recommendation that I had for you in part 1, you would be getting a tank. And I'll do some videos to show you the difference between like the tank and the healer mercs, but they're incredibly powerful, and you're going to be able to make it a long, long way. And this is my recommendation. Play a tank, get a healer merc, or play a healer and get a tank merc. Many people have many opinions about that, but this is from the perspective of you are just returning or you are brand new to Everquest. I think this is going to make your life a lot easier and more fun. Now, I started that with saying you're a free-to-play player, so you're looking at this apprentice mercenaries. So you can get that tier 5 healer right there. I'm not going to do that though. You could do that, and then you could go out and you could hunt one time, and then you will immediately go scrounge through your house for 15 bucks to pay the subscription so that you have access to the journeyman mercenaries. Much more powerful. I might do a little example video to show you the difference between the power levels of these two mercenaries, but I subscribe, so I get the healer tier 1. I'm a paladin. Higher away. Got him. Alright. Now we're going to go. And I'm going to go to Crushbone. It's where I learned to play Everquest, I would say, back in 1999. So I'm going to do the nostalgia, because the Cave Bears in Crescent Reach were extraordinarily boring. Although, very good experience. I'll take my healer and do a video for that. So we're now going to find again. Did I lose my find window? Did I close that? Oh well. I have in find. The Greater Fate. Here we go. Off we go. Shadow Knight would make my life easier because I would have Snare. A Warrior would have better mitigation. We'll see what a Paladin can do. It's just it's the tank I haven't played in Everquest. Oops. Felwith is not what I want. Small rant. Oh, stop looking at the quest thing. Small rant. I wish they could fix the naming conventions. So see, what's going on here is that Zone Connection, the Greater Feydark 1, the Greater Feydark 2. Well, I wish it just said on Greater Feydark 1, I wish it just said Felwith. or zone connection to Kelethin. I wish it would tell you that. Um, the other thing that's strange is like Blightfire Moors says Crescent Reach, but like you're actually a zone away from Crescent Reach there. So like you have to start memorizing, okay, Crescent Reach is closest to Blightfire Moors. Okay, I use Find to do that. You get used to it, but it's pretty, it can be pretty annoying at sometimes because, especially like if you're a druid or a wizard and you've got your ports and your ports aren't named the same as the zone you're going to, you can't remember if Wind of the North is to Skyfire or Emerald Jungle. It's just a pain. Anyway, I'm not going to that spot. I am going to Greater Fate Art 2 because I'm heading to Crushbone. How did you know all this? How did you know to go here? I'm brand new and I don't know any of this. Well, I'm using Find and giving you an idea of like what I would do. There it is. Should be close. But you can also just do a Google search, EQ zones by level, and it'll show you where they are. Neat little feature that a lot of people forget about, especially if you played a bunch before this feature was in. You can also go to the EQ button, go over here to Navigation and Zone Guide. That pulls this up, and it can basically tell you a zone by zone linear travel route. So like, see, we're here in the Plane of Knowledge, and we're going to end up in Clan Crushbone is where we're headed. See, this is how many zones there are in Everquest. You've got a lot to do. You won't see them all. Clan Crushbone. So now I'm going to go down here. Start zone is already set. I'm going to set end. And then I'm going to activate the path. That's funny. Is it taking me back to, yeah, well, we're not going to 1, we're going to 2. It's not a perfect system. It'll get you there. Kelethin is closer to Crushbone than Felwith is. I don't know what it was doing. Alright, so here we are, and see, look, the little mystical path is still there, so it's going to take us to Crushbone now. Yay, Kelethin. Ah, the music of the elves. We still have a really bad decaying skeleton problem here. Look at that, they've got the little zone. I haven't ever seen that zone path one day. I didn't know it was there. Oh, so I should probably talk about something interesting on this relatively long journey to Crushbone. Well, no, it looks like I'm almost there. I like Crushbone. Like, if you're going to do an old world route, I like Crushbone to Mistmore. Maybe some Unrest in there. Maybe I like that because that's the route that I originally leveled up. I was playing a Dwarf Warrior, and then I played a Halfling Druid and just moved him over to Fador as soon as I could. Oh, look at that. Pulled all that stuff. Alright, let's put this mercenary to the test. So notice I'm not panicking at all. I've got 4 mobs that are on me, and all I did is just do auto attack. I'm gonna hit taunt and bash as often as I can to try to get those skills up, even though I've got all the aggro. So you're playing a tank. It's not quick. You can see like they're not dying super fast here. I don't have any spells that do damage, so it's with the paladin. It's going to be a auto attack experience for many levels. You should probably check the XP gain here. We're looking at, let's see, this is a level 8 mob, and I'm level 9, so it's one level below me. I've got 77% experience, so we'll see how much that goes up once this guy dies. Now then notice also that 2 of these 4 orcs are already attacking my mercenary cleric because my mercenary cleric has been healing me. It drew aggro, and notice that I'm not doing a thing. I don't care. That thing is a meat shield. In fact, if it takes the aggro of this other one, I wouldn't be upset either. But there is a point of no return. You don't want to have like 10 mobs on you. Like there's some weird math formula that you could probably figure it out, like how many blues can you have before the mercenary abandons you, how many yellows before the mercenary abandons you, because they will abandon you. And I think I'm going to end this video here pretty soon showing you. I want to show you how powerful they are, so first, and then I want to show you that it does have its limits. So we're going to take out these 4 right now. Okay, so I killed 1. I was, what, 77, and now I'm 80, so about 3% per kill. That's not so great. It's not bad. But, you know, so if I stuck with these, are they all, like, well, and this one's level 7, so it's going to be even less experience. Well, this is outside of where we want to hunt anyway. But hopefully you can see, like, see, there's the merc's just healing me. It doesn't care. It's got 2 mobs on them. And look at its health. It's 100% health, 100% mana. Like, this isn't phasing it at all. I'm starting to regret this paladin now. Please tell me it's worth waiting for. Please, in the comments, somebody tell me that it's worth waiting for. %, 55. And yeah, so I'm going so slow that the mob is able to tick up in health as I'm fighting it. That is discouraging, to say the least. I'm gonna stun you just because I should probably keep that spell skill up. One key to Everquest: hit your buttons as often as you can. You need to get the skills up. On this live version, you're going to level up pretty fast, and you can very quickly out-level your skill ability. So you get your new DD, your direct damage spell, and all of a sudden it just fizzles and fizzles and fizzles and fizzles because you got 3 levels without using it once. So you got to be careful to try to use these skills as often as you can to keep the skills up, because you're going to be leveling faster than the game intended. Okay, I don't care about this last Centurion because me killing blue mobs has got to be one of the most boring things ever. you are able to see that cleric mercenary took no damage, took no hit. Hey, look at me, I'm just gonna drag you guys. Train to zone! I would tell you Europeans, but none of you are awake to know. And entering Clan Crashbone. We laugh at Zorgo Nox's slow zoning. Yep, there we go. So what do we say? Let's see. Now we're sitting at 84%. So, I mean, what, I killed yeah, 3 mobs. It's pretty slow experience. This guy's still blue to me, but he is, let's see, he is only level 5. We'll just... So here we are in Clan Crushbone. I'll be curious to see if we actually see... There's somebody here. Slash who? Nope, it's just me, but there's a dead body right there, so somebody was recently here. And right now you are about to see reason number 1 to play a Shadow Knight instead of a Paladin. They run. And I don't have root yet. And my mercenary won't root. This may be my one and only video with a Paladin going solo. And another one. Hey, all you original 1999 players. Remember the Crushbone belt? Don't bother. Well, I mean, you can sort of bother if you want. I don't know. Like, one of the things I've done is I've collected the Crushbone belts off of these orcs and just put them in my bank and just tried to get a bunch. And then I take a level 1 character in and turn them in and see how many levels I get. I haven't done that in years, though, so I have no idea if that's worth the time or effort. It just seems like you're going to get better gear and get faster levels just running through Gloomingdeep. But Gloomingdeep can get old if it's the 5th, 6th, 7th time you've run it. And if you're a multi-boxer, yeah, you've gone through Gloomingdeep a lot. You start saving Defiant gear so that you don't ever have to do it again. And no, I don't want that. I don't want any of this stuff. You want to check out what is dropping. Defiant's going to drop, but I mean, I just skip all of this stuff because it becomes nothing more than like a hassle. And we're not going to be fighting over there anyway. We're gonna be heading to the good stuff, I hope. So, again, Brewell's maps. This is the famous wall. If you're an old player, you know exactly where I am and what I'm doing. But you're also remembering that back in the day, you had to have, 3 or 4 people in your group to get to this spot and take the wall camp. However, on the live server, in Defiant gear, with a healer mercenary, you're not going to sit here and camp like you did in the old days. You're going to just start heading right in. It's up to you how many mobs you want to take. I guess we could test them. I'll show you. Hey, here's a good test. So we've got some even con mobs. Here's 4. Yeah, this is what we'll stop here. I don't want to do too many because it is possible for your mercenary to try to take off. But you should be able to see that, like, yeah, I mean, there's the mercenary, 100% experience right there, or 100% health, 100% mana. Here I am slow rolling through these. And if you want to be the most efficient about it, you probably not start with the even con mob. You should probably start with like the lowest level mob, get rid of that, like start from the lowest level up. I guess I could do that. So there's a 6, there's a 7, 7, 7. So we're gonna try to kill this level 6 first. Oh, look at that. Dr. Nachos likes to talk about Nomo vision, but you know, you can get some Froggo vision too. Play around with your camera. Sometimes you can see around corners. I see an orc right here off to the right that if I didn't want to grab him, it wouldn't be that big a deal if I got him here at this low level crush bone, but you can do some funky things with some cameras and Everquest and find stuff that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. In a newer game, they'd keep that from happening. Alright, so now everything else was, the blues were 7. I'm gonna ding on this group. That's nice. So, you guys might not want to stick around and watch me go through all 4 of these mobs very slowly with a very slow DPS, but you can see that basically most of them are on they're on Rorgag now, my mercenary healer, and not on me, so it's just a matter of time. I got 4 mobs on me, and there's just, Merc has no signs of stopping. So I think if I were playing this for real and not making a video, well, didn't mean to loot. If I were playing for this for real, I'd probably take care of this group and then just keep on moving towards the named. But since nobody wants to watch a paladin slowly DPS down a bunch of mobs, we're going to do this. Here's the mercenary. Let's see how many it takes. This will probably be the end of the video. Let's see how many it takes before that mercenary decides that he's out of here. So, got a named. I have a theory that the named may have a better chance of dropping Defiant gear than the normal trash mobs. I could be wrong about that. I guess I could. Yeah, look, nope, that's too many. Merc can't handle it. I'm gone. So, you want to play around, find yourself the right amount of mobs that healer Merc can handle. I usually like 4 or 5 at a time, and that's usually what I try to do. Slow roll it, have some video going on YouTube off to the side, and you start to make pretty good progress. Like here I'll be popping into Plane of Knowledge, we'll take a look. You know, I was trying to show you stuff. If I was serious about it, I could have gotten a lot further, but like, you know, I'm at 89% because I just lost a little bit of experience. Could head back into Clan Crushbone and get probably a 10% res out of this mercenary frog and get some of that back. It's not that big a deal though. I mean, if I wanted to level in that zone, I would have slow rolled it through there. And essentially the idea is to go through Clan Crushbone and until about level 18. And so you could just run around the zone and have that thing to yourself and pick up all the Defiant gear, and it's a pretty easy way to go. My next video is going to be doing a relatively similar thing, except for I'm going to be taking a cleric and taking them through the Crescent Reach Blightfire Moors. And we'll do a little comparison on the experience gain and how it goes and how much different that tank mercenary is than the healer mercenary that I've got for this one. Anyway, I hope that kind of showed you a good place to go, what to do after Gloomingdeep. You can go to Crushbone and you can get yourself up to 18. There are 1,000 other, well, not 1,000. There are many other old world zones that can do the same thing. You can go to, where are the Knolls? The Blackburrow would be another place you could go and get up to around 18. There you could also start going into Upper Guck, and that's an interesting one because if you go into Guck, Upper Guck, essentially you could start at Upper Guck and then you could exit at level 50 if you wanted to, if you had the bag space and all of that kind of stuff. So that's another route that you could go. But if you go that old world, the content is going to be easier. The experience is not going to be as good. The Defiant gear seems to drop at the same rate wherever you go, but maybe a little bit better in the dungeons like Crushbone, Mistmore, Unrest than they do in the open world. And it's going to go pretty quick. If you looked at that paladin and said, "Oh my God, that looks boring," don't play a paladin. Take a Shadow Knight. You'll have a snare which will be able to slow the mobs down so that they won't run away on you. Play what you want, of course. Warrior, you're going to have the same problem as a paladin in that you don't have a snare, but in addition, you also don't have any spells. And so playing without a group, soloing up, it can be pretty tedious and boring on a warrior because they really shine in groups with other people. Anyway, hope that helps. I'll throw out another video showing a different route on a different kind of character with a different kind of mercenary. And then we'll come back after I'm ready to show you. Let's see, this will take you up to probably around level 18, level 19. So next video we'll show you what I would do at that level to keep moving forward. Thanks, and if you liked it, let me know. Thanks.